I'm going to call tonight's meeting to order. Can we all rise for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So next is roll call.
Councilmember Murray.
Present.
Councilmember Ryan.
Here.
Councilmember Page.
Present.
Mayor Matsumoto Wright.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Wall.
Here.
Councilmember Sonmore. Here. Councilmember Woodard.
Here.
That concludes roll call.
Thank you. Next is, do we have any late changes to the agenda?
We do, Mayor. Thank you. I would like to move the proclamation for Police Week to our meeting next week on May 8th. It makes the most sense to hold it next week because the actual Police Week honoring our police officers is May 11th through the 17th.
All right. Thank you very much. Do we need to vote on that?
I'd like to make a motion. I'll make a motion to move the Law Enforcement Appreciation Week to May 8th next meeting.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So that is going to be for next week. Next is the, public comment. Do we have any public comment?
No one signed up in person or registered online, and any written comments received would have been handed out to council.
All right, thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Wall.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Move to approve the consent agenda items A through G.
Second.
So it's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, so next we have a proclamation for the Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Heritage Month. I would like to read this and present it to one of our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion members, Scott Matsuda. Testing. Oh, now it is on. Okay. Right. This is the City of Mountlake Terrace Proclamation for Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Whereas in 1977, legislation was introduced to designate 10 days in May as Pacific Asian American Heritage Week. Today, this is a month-long celebration, and we highlight Native Americans in this commemoration. And whereas May was chosen to commemorate two key milestones, the arrival of the nation's first Japanese immigrants, May 7th, 1843, and Chinese workers' pivotal role in building the Transcontinental Railroad, completed on May 10th, 1869. And whereas in the United States, we have more than 25 million Asian, Native American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander AANHPI people. And in Washington and Mountlake Terrace, this group represents 11% of our population. This community originated from 42 different nations across Asia, Hawaii, and the Pacific Islands that now call our state home. And whereas this year's theme, as designated by the Federal Asian Pacific American Council, is a legacy of leadership and resilience. Throughout history, AANHPI people have transformed adversity into opportunities for public service, efficiency, and innovation, resulting in lasting change that has positively impacted the world. And whereas some of the many exemplary AANHPI leaders in Washington include Doug Chin, a leader in the movement to preserve the Chinatown International District in Seattle. Dolores Sibonga is Washington's first Filipino-American lawyer and she became the first minority female to serve in the Seattle City Council, and Wing Luke, the first Asian American to hold elected office in the Pacific Northwest, as well as the first person of color to hold a city council seat. And whereas, please join the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Commission and Edmond School District at the ANHPI Heritage Festival, celebrating the journey of Asian and Pacific cultures on May 17th between noon and 3 p.m. at Terrace Park Elementary School, where community members can experience music, dance, and crafts, have fun photos, and learn about community resources. And now, therefore, I, Mayor Kyoko Matsumoto Wright, on behalf of the Mountlake Terrace City Council, do hereby proclaim May as Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, proclaimed by the City Council on May 1st, 2025. And I'm going to present this to Scott Masuda, and you have
Thank you.
a few words to say.
I do. Thank you, Mayor, City Council, Mayor Pro Tem. I'm happy and proud to accept this proclamation on behalf of Asian Americans here in our city. My Hawaiian friend, Kermit Apio, couldn't be here, so I'm accepting it for the NHPI part of the proclamation as well. Thank you for that. The typical way people become Americans is by birth, boat, border, or plane. I'm here to alert you to another way. I was born an Asian in Hawaii, but not American. I wasn't born American, nor did I come to be an American, nor did I come to it to become American. America came to me via statehood, which allowed me at 5 years old to become American. I just turned 71, and I've lived here for 34 years of it. I'm very happy to say this is my home. I find it welcoming, diverse, and progressive enough for my tastes. I love these proclamations. To me, it means that you care. Thank you.
I always end up sneaking in over here.
How about I slide into that spot?
Okay, that sounds like a good choice. Oh, no, you're fine. Thanks for being here.
All right. So, Councilmember Woodard, would you like to introduce our next guest?
Very kind. Thank you, Mayor. I am absolutely honored anytime I'm in the room with Volunteers of America, but in particular when they are in our city. So we have the honor tonight of having our philanthropy officer, Joel Feldman, joining us. We did want to pause. I think you all know I'm a part of VOA as well, and let you know that our COO was scheduled to talk with us today, and she sends her regrets. She had a family emergency take place. I think we can all relate to how been a very long month for May somehow already. So with that stated, she does send her regards and regrets, but we are very much in capable hands of our philanthropy officer, who the two of us actually have the honor of doing these types of speaking engagements. So it's wonderful to be in the space with you, Joel.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council, Mayor Pro. I have to press this button. Mayor, members of the City Council, Mayor Pro Tem, thank you so much for inviting me in and inviting Volunteers of America to speak today to provide an update on the Lynnwood Neighborhood Center, which we want to thank Mountlake Terrace, the city of Mountlake Terrace, for helping fund this wonderful project that we are working on. The Lynnwood Neighborhood Center is a one-stop shop where folks are going to be able to come and families are going to be able to come to really get all the health and human service needs that they're going to need. This is a multi-service, multi-generational, multicultural, multi-agency building that is going to be able to serve all of South Snohomish County as well as those in North King County. We're very excited that this is going to be able to open up in fall of 2025. This is a 40,000 square foot building. It is LEED Gold, which means it's going to be a great steward of our environment, and it's going to be built to last probably 100 years or so. I'm probably not going to be here to see that, but it is at a great intersection between 196 and Highway 99. The building itself is owned and operated and built by VOA and the wonderful donors who have come together, including City of Mountlake Terrace, City of Lynnwood, Snohomish County, Edmonds, our wonderful taxpayers of Washington State, and the federal government. We also want to thank a lot of other corporations and other philanthropists who've stepped forward, such as folks like Rick Steves. And I'm hoping I can get this to switch. Down arrow. Technical difficulties, my apologies. There we go. As mentioned before, this is a Volunteers of America building. So our mission is to really empower people, strengthen communities, guided by a core value of respect, stewardship, and empathy. Our vision is to build healthy, safe communities where all people are going to be able to be self-sufficient and fully live their lives. As mentioned before, Rick Steves is this is really his brainchild that he came together with. We were given, there was some land that was vacant, wasn't being used. He is a congregant at Trinity Lutheran Church, and he thought we could do something much better with this space. So he put together the seed capital to help make this happen. And he really envisioned something that was going to be transformative, something that was going to be able to bring folks together and going to be able to really make an impact on our community. It had many iterations throughout the years, but when he came forward and looked for a partner, he decided to choose Volunteers of America for that. Let me tell you a little bit about the area that we're talking about. This is South Snohomish County, but in particular, this is the intersection right at Highway 99 and 196. This is an area of high and great need in our community. We have over 25% of the folks are under the age of 18. We have over almost 40% of the kids and families speak English as a second language. We also know that this is just shy of 15% of folks that are living in the poverty level, and we also see that over 10% of the folks do not have health insurance. And we also see that the area median income, this is a couple years old, was just about $1,800, which we know is not enough to really sustain a family. So we heard that we had listening sessions to find out what the community needed and what the community wanted. And some of those things that we heard was that we needed to serve some folks and make sure that they had their basic needs. We wanted to make sure that we had a place where they could get their referrals done. And we also wanted a place where you could get some workforce development as well. We know that the cost of early education and childcare is astronomical out here. We see that in the area median income, and those are the folks making probably close to $100,000 plus, it takes up about 25% of their income just to put one child through preschool. Knowing that, we wanted to come up with a solution to help provide childcare. We listened to the community, and we're looking at opening up ECAP classrooms that are going to be able to serve about 80 kids. For Volunteers of America, this is nearly a 50% increase of the number of kids that we're going to be able to serve through our ECAP program. Adult daycare, this was actually started as part of Rick Steve's vision, was to make sure that we are able to serve those in our community who are a little more seasoned in their years. So we are looking at having some senior services there. We are also going to be looking at serving folks with developmental and intellectual disabilities through some of our programs that we do at Volunteers of America. We're hoping to also provide our dispute resolution services, which we know that many low-income individuals face a lot of legal issues and other issues that they need affordable resolutions for conflict, basically. So we're going to be able to provide those services as well. We cannot do this alone, though. As I mentioned before, this is a multi-service, but a multi-agency building that we're going to be building. One of our great partners, of course, is Boys and Girls Club of Snohomish County. Everybody knows that brand. A lot of us has experienced that brand as a kid and as parents. We are also in Lynnwood. There's a large Korean population, so we're going to be serving the Korean population as well. Child Strive is an organization that provides really support for families and children to make sure that those families, children have really the knowledge that they need to help live a good life, and that those kids are going to be able to have the support that they end up needing. Cocoon House is an intervention that's going to be able to help teens, particularly at-risk teens, so that they do not become homeless. We are also going to have workforce development with our partners at LETI, which is Latino Educational Training Institute. We heard that there was a great need, as mentioned before in the slide that I showed previously, a great need for healthcare and folks that do not have health insurance. We're going to be partnering with a lot of different healthcare providers. One that has already put up their hands is Medical Teams International. They're going to be able to bring in their mobile unit to be able to provide services for that community. Those are folks that are uninsured or folks that are underinsured. Lastly, we know that behavioral health, mental health is one of those things that folks are looking for. When we had our listening sessions, there was great need for that. We're going to be partnering with the Center for Human Services. They're going to be able to provide in-house services for folks that they're going to be able to get those behavioral health services needed. Other things to kind of mention in there, this is a gathering space. As Rick Steves would say, we are going to have a piazza to really welcome the community in there. As part of that, there's going to be, you can't have welcome people out here without having a cafe and making sure that they have that warm beverage, that coffee that they need. Hot summer day like today, they can have that cold brewed coffee in there. Also, we're going to have a commercial commissary kitchen that folks are going to be able to rent out and use for events, because right next to that kitchen is going to be event space where the community is going to be able to use that space for wonderful events, birthday parties, weddings, as well as community celebrations. And we're going to have a multi-purpose gym that is going to be able to be used when the Boys and Girls Club and our early learning is not using it. So late afternoon, evenings, and weekends. I wanted to mention this is a $26 million project. We have some wonderful funders, as I mentioned before: Rick Steves, State of Washington, Snohomish County, HUD, City of Lynnwood, Norcliffe, City of Mountlake, Terrace, Primera Blue Cross as one of our lead corporate donors, Sunderland Foundation, as City of Edmonds, as well as a lot of other wonderful philanthropists in this community. Right now, we are at a sprint. It's about 7 months until we open up. I'm really excited about this, and I got great news. This says we have a goal of about $3 million. I'm sitting here in front of you today with a goal now of about $2.4 million. We also have a very generous donor who has stepped forward to provide up to $1 million match for those who are giving, for individuals that are giving to help support this project. Right now, we're engaging the community, trying to talk to folks out there, let them know that this is being built. and also allowing them to know that there's going to be opportunities for them to participate in this building. And of course, we always ask people to help us out, right? We cannot do this alone. So we ask for folks to help participate in helping us build this. And when I say build this, I am talking about building that community, finding other agencies to utilize this space. We want you to spread the word, to tell folks that this is going to be a hub for South Snohomish County and North King County, that folks are going to be able to come in, once again, get that cup of coffee, get their behavioral health taken care of. Their kids are going to be able to play at that playground that's going to be out there, maybe play some basketball in that gym that's going to happen. Lastly, we do ask for more support from our community. We welcome folks in our community to help join us. This is going to be really built dollar by dollar and person by person in our community to get out there. So please, please spread the word. A quick picture of going on. Right now, we are sitting at a 55% completion of this building. We're very excited about it. I would like to say the bones or the exoskeleton is now completed. The construction, I am not a construction person, so what I'm about to say hopefully is correct, but they've closed it all in with all the windows and everything. We're letting it dry out right now, and it's going to be ready to be drywalled, start getting other interior things in there. The electrical, the HVAC, all that kind of wonderful things that is really the bones of a building are starting to really be built in there. Went the wrong way, I think. Here's just another picture. As mentioned, we also completed the roof over there, which is looking really great. I do invite everybody to drive around there and check it out and see what's going on. It is exciting. I can say personally, I've been seeing this built over the last 6 months or so, and I just can't believe every time I go by, it looks completely different. There's another picture. You can see the windows are coming in. As mentioned, siding is being put on, and I heard that they're starting to paint, actually, on the side of the building right now. Actually, I want to go back and show something on this one. And right to the right of that excavator that you can see out there, that's actually where the playground is going to be. So that's going to be a place that we're going to be able to welcome kids of various different ages and the community to get out there and play, be active. There's another shot from, I believe it's 64th. As you can see, this is, it's got some interesting architecture to it, and what we're looking at over there is actually the event space. And they tell us that we're going to have probably about 300 folks that we're going to be able to, I hate to use the word squeeze, but easily get in there, and they're going to have plenty of room to move around and dance and interact with folks. Any questions? You can always talk to my colleague, Christy Myers, but I also want to say you can talk to Joel Feldman as well. I'll just mention my email, which is jfeldman, F-E-L-D-M-A-N, at VOAWW.org. And I do want to open it up for any questions that you may have.
Are there any questions, comments? Councilmember Murray?
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Joel. Appreciate you being here and the presentation, and appreciate seeing pictures. I went on the tour when Rick Steves took us around and took us on an envisioning exercise when it was a grass field. So I do not go by there often, and it is amazing to see how far along it's come. So congratulations to all of you on all of the hard work and progress thus far. And I think particularly thank you for stepping in where, we as government have not been able to solve all of these, needs within our community. And I think our nonprofit and faith-based communities do a really important job in stepping up and helping to fill some of the gaps. So thank you for that, and excited to hear about all of the partners. We had Letty come in and speak with our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Commission here recently, and we heard about some of the amazing work that they're doing. And so they are just, it sounds like you've got some phenomenal partners coming in as well, which is super exciting. And I think there's so much value in being able to offer all of that in a single space. I think that's oftentimes one of the hardest parts for the community in accessing resources is the amount of places that you need to go in order to do so. And oftentimes the barriers in terms of transportation to make and time, right, to make all of that happen. So excited about all the progress and appreciate the update. I did have one question. I don't think last time when we had or I don't think in our previous conversations we've talked about the fact that Volunteers of America Western Washington is a faith-based organization, and I saw that was included in the slides tonight. Can you just talk a little, I think particularly as we are talking to our community members who might be interested in spending time there or accessing resources there, understanding how that shows up in terms of either the space or the programs, I think would be helpful for us to understand.
Yeah, so that's a great question. Volunteers of America is a faith-based organization. We do not discriminate to anybody based on their religion, background, anything along those lines. We welcome all folks. It just, that religious base helps guide us, working to make sure that we have a great spirit that we're able to serve the community. So it is going to be an inclusive environment there that folks of all backgrounds are going to be able to get really all the services they need. We don't ask questions about what your background is, what your faith background is, how you pray or how you exercise your faith. And we work to make this a welcoming space for all, regardless of who you are, what your background is. That's how you build community in the best way.
Thank you. Appreciate you giving us some information there. And again, I appreciate you being here and for all of the work.
Anyone else? Councilmember Ryan?
Thank you, Mayor. Very happy to hear all this. This is really exciting. Our council went to the groundbreaking there, and it was really nice. Especially liked how Rick Steves donated the property and the history that he purchased that and tried to make some money in real estate when he was younger. And then, well, he hit it big time with the tourism. Yeah. And then he was able to work with Trinity Place and work on that. So I'm really excited about that. And kind of always been interested in that area also because of when unfortunately, we had the serial arsonist, Paul Keller, who burnt the church down. And it's nice that they got together and fixed it, and the father came, and it was really a great celebration to rebuild the church, and then rebuild that whole property with Rick Steves is really exciting. And all those programs you mentioned, and everybody that's supporting them, it's just really exciting to hear. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Mayor Pro Tem Wall?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just don't have anything more to add other than to say thank you as well. I'm just so excited to have you in our serving our region. There's such a need that, as Councilmember Murray points out, I mean, the small governments like ourselves just don't have the capability to provide a lot of these services directly. And so we need partners to step up and do it, and you guys are doing that. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. And we look forward to welcoming the community in late December, and we hope to get all the council members there much earlier than that, so to check it out. Be ready for a hard hat tour sometime later this summer or fall.
I was just going to ask for that. Go ahead, Councilmember Murray.
Thank you. One just quick follow-up question. I think as our residents are starting to hear more and get excited, how do they ensure that they know when services are available and how they can be some of the first to know that they're available and get ready for them?
That's a great question, and we're going to work very hard on our marketing efforts to get the word out there. We do have a social media handle, RLNC. You can find that on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, maybe on X, I'm not quite sure. But we are, and we're going to be working also with the local press as well to make sure that we get that word out there. The other thing that we're going to need and do is work with those agencies that are both in that building and the other supporting agencies that are around there. Once again, this is a physical building, but VOA has been working in South Snohomish County for a number of years, if not generations, but we haven't had this physical presence. This is just kind of an example of the fact that these service providers are out there, and they're going to be able to spread that word to those, to the folks that are getting their services, so that they now have a hub to find those services.
Awesome, thank you.
Councilmember Woodard?
Thank you, Mayor. Joel, would you mind jumping back one slide? I just wanted to point something out, recognizing that folks will notice, literally it was that one slide after the, you're going the wrong way.
Going the wrong way?
We wanted to stop.
No, it was just, I only wanted the first slide. So so go back to the end.
This
and go-
one.
Second to
No,
the
go back
last
to the end. All the way back to the end, right there. Now, one more, right there, stay right there. Yep, one slide, there we go, thank you. This is indicative of our work styles too. That said, teasing, I just wanted to make sure that folks see this. If you look to the far left of this building, you'll see an awning. There's actually indoor-outdoor access right there. That's going to be a really cool patio. The way the doors, if we swung around, you would see these doors are really big windows that I believe will roll up and stuff like that. So as you're thinking about you're using that space, recognize we had the nerve to even say, hey, we're going to take advantage of those 4 gorgeous days and make sure whoever gets it those days can use the indoor-outdoor access. So just want to make sure they saw that as well, because that's one of those features that goes unappreciated until you have a gorgeous day and you're locked in a building like this one.
I do also want to add that we are going to have some great outdoor space for our early learning as well, that those kids, we're going to be able to open up the doors and they get to get out there and play as well. We know that fresh air is so important, and so there's going to be days like today.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming, and I know that I was invited to one of these things early on. I didn't get on the board, but I know others did that I know, and we're really excited about this. Can't wait. One of the things that I really want to work with the community is which buses to take from Mountlake Terrace, because a lot of the people that's going to be using this is not going to have cars.
Yeah, we are going to make sure that it is transit oriented, the project. So we got to just find the best route for everybody, especially out here to take. So I'm not a transit master in that way off the top of my head, but I'm sure we'll figure out that bus that takes them right there, or the light rail.
Well, light rail will take them to about half a mile from it.
Yeah.
Councilmember Woodard?
Yeah, I'll answer that question, which is, that is the answer. Light rail is the easiest one. Go from light rails, Mountlake Terrace to the Lynnwood, and then hop the orange line towards the campus. That ends at the campus, but we're a little south of that, I guess technically west of that, east of that. So that's your best bet, but then you can also take, I would say the 119, and then you'd have to transfer to the 101 and go up 99. And so there's a couple different access there. But I would also say, for those of you who have access to Uber or Lyft at certain times of the day, it's less than 2 miles from here. So it's not a huge investment. It is money, but it isn't a huge investment if you found yourself, meaning that you could technically walk there. I've done that in the past.
Right. So does the orange line pass that? Does it go up 196 and go right past that building?
Yes.
Yeah, but there's no stop there.
Just south of that should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll figure it out.
Yeah, on the corner. Yeah, on the corner of 99 and.
Because the orange line doesn't come to Mountlake
196.
Terrace. I'm just trying to get Mountlake Terrace people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you take the light rail to the Lynnwood light rail, the orange line does cross there, and you would hop, skip, and a jump.
Okay.
Not even a jump.
We will also be able to welcome bicycles there as well, of course.
Great, thank you. Anyone else before we say goodbye? All right, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
Shall I mention that we had trivia night together? That was something. All right. So next on our agenda is the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, members of council. A few things to mention tonight. First, the Arbor Day in Action event last week at Lake Ballinger was a success. Lots of blackberries removed. There were 59 people who attended, and for provided a total of 177 hours of volunteer work. So that's great for our community. See them come out on a nice day, well, relatively nice day, not as nice as tonight, but second thing, we did have the pool closure planned for that maintenance work on the liner starting on May 9th. Starting on May 9th. That has been moved back a few days for contractors' availability. So the pool now will close on May 16th, and the work is still expected to conclude by June 30th, but we will update you as we gather more information. The tree planting project for Ballinger Park and Bicentennial Park, the stakes went out this week, and the actual tree planting will begin next week, so you'll see that project moving forward. And next week, we're going to be presenting you with names for the Financial Sustainability Task Force. I'm happy to report that 29 people applied, actually 27 within the due date. We got a couple of late applications, but 29 people were interested in volunteering and helping us with this project. So that's great to see. Very happy to see those types of numbers, people willing to invest their time. And lastly, the branding RFP that we've talked about, the brand for the city and for the wayfinding project, that is scheduled to be released out to the wild for bids on May 16th. So that project's moving forward as well. And that's all I have. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions or comments for the city manager? Okay. We'll move on to the council liaison reports. Why don't we start with Councilmember Woodard?
Thank you, Mayor. We go way back because somehow we have not had the suit up in quite a while. So mine goes back into March. That said, I got 23 items to share. I won't do you like that, though. I've already passed them on to the clerk via email, and I'll just focus on 6 tonight. And the first one I'm very happy to focus on because she walked into the room. And I wasn't sure. I thought she was going to be here earlier. So Tu Ha Nguyen, who on March 30th was, let me pause and just say, this was, I would argue, or promote, or position, I don't want to argue tonight, would position that this is the first time that we've had a resident who is not connected to a commission use a commission to bring to fruition an idea that they had. So I think that is the cleanest way to say that, which is to say that that was the first time, to my knowledge, and anybody can correct me, especially folks who were part of the DEI a little bit longer than me, but that was a significant opportunity. What they focused on was yesterday marked the 50th anniversary of the fall of Saigon. It was recorded. I would just do damage to try to talk any further than that, but Tu Ha is here if you'd like to have a conversation with her. It was just a wonderful event. It really showcased not only our library, not only our campus, but our actual city. Her reach wasn't just on the internet. She actually had folks come in on the ferry. She had folks come down from the mountain and folks who had never been to Mountlake Terrace. So once again, in the spirit of that's how we would want our commissions to work. Maybe it didn't work as cleanly as we would want because that's how first times go. But it was, I think, a sign of things to come, and I encourage other residents out there to use all of our commissions to figure out how to bring their wonderful talents and ideas to the forefront. The other 5 I'll power through really quickly because we're all a part of as well. April 9th, I had the honor of being at the Heritage Tree dedication. The 24th is a double. I did make it to Children's Day. But then we had a finance meeting, so I'll just leave that there to say that that was the 24th. And then on the 25th, that next day, I did have the honor of emceeing or co-emceeing Leadership in Snohomish County's Step Up. Thank you to the city for supporting that. I gave out the love to the destination, beautiful destination city of Mountlake Terrace. Said that a couple times. And then on the last one is, you just heard about the Arbor Day cleanup on the 26th. I had the honor of staying on the west side. No, I was the east side of the pool and doing the mulching. I did go across to the east side, which was technically Edmonds, to say hello to Ivy League, but that's how awesome Ivy League is. They will even work in Edmonds. Yeah, I'm going to keep teasing you guys about that. So, end of my report.
Thank you. Councilmember Murray.
Thank you, Mayor. We do go way back, trying to figure out exactly how far back. So we Sorry, I had it up and then I clicked off of it. All right, going all the way back to end of March, beginning of April. So we had our council interviews, council meeting, welcome to new council member. That's how long it's been, yes? Okay, all right, just making sure. I think things that stand out on my calendar, I met with Baker Tilly for our fiscal sustainability project that we're doing. I think they're going to be great and excited for them. Excited to figure out who the folks are going to be that are going to work with them and to get engaged in that work. What else did we have? Obviously, council meetings. We had our monthly DEI commission meeting, and I think I will just highlight for all of you that we have upcoming our AANHPI. I was going to say, I was listening as the mayor was talking earlier during our Proclamation Heritage Festival here coming up on Saturday, May 17th. That is going to be at Terrace Park Elementary School right next to the pavilion from noon to 3. So we're going to have all sorts of good stuff going on there. So hope folks can join us. You know, we're going to have activities and music and should be a good opportunity to come and meet some of your neighbors and have a good time. So welcome or invite you to come join us for that. And then, it was because we had our Snohomish County cities and towns meeting on the 17th, which was really good. We had 2 judges who were both one from Municipal Court in Edmonds and one from South County District Court in Snohomish County come and talk to us about just their work and the work that they do. And it was, I will say, it was a fascinating thing. I learned more than I realized I didn't know about kind of how our court systems work. And I think there were some good conversations around how potentially, you know, the system could work better. And so I'm excited to see how we can carry some of those conversations forward. Went to the Economic Alliance of Snohomish County's annual meeting, which was great. We had a chance to hear from our new director of the Washington State Commerce. And, you know, I thought it was a good and well-attended event and appreciate that they continue to do work on behalf of the entire county supporting economic development. And then we had Children's Day, which was phenomenal. I was going to say all of the hard work, particularly from our DEI Commission, very grateful and appreciative for that. I thought the second rendition of that event was even better than the first, which I think I might have said was my favorite city council event ever. So thank you for all of the continued work from the staff and commissioners and all of the attendees who made this year a really great event. For those who weren't able to be there, we had children from the community come in and they came up here on the dais and they had a chance to meet council members and they had a chance to tell us what they would like to see happen in their city. There was definitely a lot of proclamations banning homework and extending spring break, and lots of lovely, lovely, wonderful ideas, but I think also some advocacy for some parks in there. But it was wonderful to hear the things that are top of mind for them and really just to have them in our space and to have them, they got to hold the gavel, which was, there's big smiles oftentimes when they use the gavel at the end to make their proclamation. And I just think it's a wonderful way to invite the community and particularly children in to experience what it's like to be up here and hopefully envision themselves up here in one of these seats someday. So again, just excited and appreciative of that. Step Up Conference the next day was great. Councilmember Woodard does always do a wonderful job of not only representing all of the spaces that he is, but particularly representing Mountlake Terrace, and appreciate you know, both our support of that and his representation of us and just the opportunity to continue to learn and grow. I thought there was some really great sessions this year that I'm hoping to circle back to, because you can only attend, you only had two parts of the day where you had choices, and there was a lot of good sessions, but we've got a little bit of time to listen to the recordings after that. And I think that is it. So I will conclude my report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Soundmore?
LTAC meeting was April 17th, and you just voted on that. And then we had RPAC and Left One on April 8th. And then I'm glad you attended the tree dedication, because I know that was in the middle of the day, and that was at our city hall, so we're happy to hear about that. And then I appreciated the Arbor Day video, because I saw them on the Edmonds side going to town, cleaning that up. So I just wanted to thank all the volunteers for that, and that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilmember Ryan?
Thank you, Mayor. On April 15th, I attended the Arts Commission meeting, which is reviewing our items the city has for art that they could hang up in the office area. It's in storage right now. There is a binder on it. It could be opened up and looked at. I'm not sure all the details of it, if the size or whatever, but it's going to be quite an undertaking if we want art from our collection in to the city. Attended the Snohomish County Cities and Towns meeting on the 17th. Had a very distinguished speaker, happens to be with us this evening, Mayor Pro Tem Brian Wall. Thank you for speaking. And it beyond his topics, we talked about the Snohomish County Public Defenders, particularly South County Court. Then the 24th was a really great day with before our meeting with Children's Day. Not to ruin Children's Day, but that also was Holocaust Remembrance Day. Not many people are remembering that, and it's beyond many people aren't remembering that. And then, I forgot, going back to the 8th, I was at the Left One retirement meeting. And that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Page, your first report.
Thank you, Mayor. I got one fan out there. There's a few things, and my first opportunity to be in front of the community as a council member was at the pavilion, for the pool event that they had there, and that was, very enlightening, and I'll mention why in a minute. Also, my second opportunity to represent the city was at the Snohomish Black Heritage Committee dinner, where they were recognizing their roots, their stems, their roses, and their buds, which I thought was a very unique way to be present and see how an organization really recognizes how they come to be a strong organization. The roots were those older people who helped get things started, and like a tree, the stronger the root, the stronger the tree, and then the stems, you need a really good stem in order to support the rose, and then the buds. And those are the young folks that were coming forward, and so they recognized the kids that were there. And it was very enriching for me just to see that whole idea. But then, they made it special for me being a new council member, in their midst, and wasn't expecting that, and that was special. Then I got the opportunity to go to Children's Day here from a different seat. And I mentioned the pavilion opportunity and the Children's Day. I've done Children's Day before with the city, but that was from back there. This time I did it from up here, and it was a totally different perspective. And I had a conversation with one of the council members, and one of the things that I saw happening, during Children's Day was the enthusiasm and the sense of joy, excitement, and belonging of everyone that came through the door. And that's something that I hope none of us ever, lose sight of, because someone said to me, well, we're in here all the time and we kind of take it for granted, these chambers. But some of these people that were here, and I remember last year and some of these other proclamations, when people come in, they've never been to City Hall before. They've never stepped in. They were afraid to it and have a reason to. But this council and some of the commissions and boards have given them reason to be here. So we should never lose sight of that. And I think Step Up, I attended my third Step Up. Again, Dr. Woodard, was a fantastic host. But this Step Up started with like the DEI Commission getting involved and getting the city involved, and so that was a nice place to be from a different seat. Again, seeing how our commissions and boards can make things work, and I was one of those ones. Getting cut up by the blueberries the other day, never realized just how alive those things are. And I knew I had the wrong gloves as soon as I reached in to cut one of those. So that's what I've done, since I've been in this seat, and it's felt great. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Wall.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Fortunately for y'all, I didn't bring my notes tonight, so I won't be expanding upon all my meetings, but that's probably a good thing because we're going all the way back to, actually, I don't think we've reported since the council retreat. So we were all at the council retreat, most of us, on the March 22nd, and then, so rapid fire, just running through everything. On the 26th of March, had the Snohomish County Tomorrow Steering Committee meeting, followed by the Mountlake Terrace Community Academy kickoff. I believe that was a kickoff, right? The 27th had the Puget Sound Regional Council Operations Committee, followed by the Puget Sound Regional Council Executive Board. Later that day had our City Council Finance Committee meeting, followed by the City Council meeting. On the April 1st had the Snohomish County Council, Snohomish County, South County Council Presidents and Mayors Pro Tem meeting. On the 2nd had the Snohomish County Tomorrow Executive Committee meeting. Later that day had the, our appointment interviews, candidate interviews on the 2nd and the 3rd. On the 3rd, the mayor and I also met with the city manager. Let's see, what else did we do on the 3rd? Candidate interviews. Nope, okay. Moving on. April 8th, had the Snohomish County Tomorrow Exploratory Committee. And, and then later that afternoon had the meeting with Steve Toller, the consultant for the financial sustainability program. And then, on April 9th, had the Heritage Tree dedication. On the 10th, the mayor and I met with Eric Ashley of Sound Transit to kind of talk about some of the challenges we're continuing to face, looking for some solutions. And then had the city council meeting later that evening. On the 14th, I did my taxes. On the 17th, on the 17th, had our Snohomish County City's dinner. On the 23rd, where are we now? We're in May. Okay, still going. Snohomish County Tomorrow Steering Committee, Snohomish County Tomorrow Steering Committee meeting. On the 24th, morning of the 24th, had the Puget Sound Regional Council Operations Committee, followed by the Puget Sound Regional Council Executive Board. And this was Children's Day, right? The 24th. So I had the Children's Day, and then Councilmember Woodard and I had our Finance Committee meeting, followed by the City Council meeting. Then May 1st, that's today, right? And today, the mayor and I met with the city manager, and we're here now wrapping up our meeting. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So I guess I'm going to go all the way back to our retreat too, because I don't think reported since then. So I was attended with everyone else the retreat on the 22nd of March. Wow. And then on the 2nd of April, we did the council interviews, and then on the next day, we did more interviews, and then we voted, and we voted for Councilmember Page, excuse me. Oh, my goodness. Well, you're sitting in the same seat. And then on the 4th, I attended Seashore Transportation Forum, and on the 7th, I attended a meeting with Congresswoman Delbany's new staff person, Shelby. And on the 8th, I attended the Snohomish County Executive and Mayor's meeting. And then on the 9th, the Heritage Tree Arbor Day celebration. And on the 15th, meeting with Baker Tilly. And on the 17th, the Snohomish County cities meeting over in Everett. And on the 22nd, the Economic Alliance Awards and an annual meeting. And I'm not going to go into details because a lot of people already went into detail on many of these things. On the 24th, the Children's Day celebration before our regular meeting. And on the 28th, we had a post office employee retire after 36 years, Jocelyn Neri. So we went over and gave her a certificate of appreciation. And that evening, later that afternoon, I attended a Snohomish County Mayor's meeting on Zoom. And then on the 29th, I attended the chamber event at the Hemlock. And then on the 30th, the Lynnwood Event Center. Yesterday, 20 years of celebration at the Lynnwood Event Center. And then this afternoon, I attended the community transit meeting. And that's the end of my report. So we had a long one because we hadn't had a report for a while. Normally, it's just only 2 weeks, and then it'll be done faster. All right. So next is new business. Does anyone have any new business? Councilmember Salmore?
I have 2 items. Could we get an update on the building to make sure everything's been updated and cleared through the builder? And if we're having any issues?
On this building? Mm-hmm. Sure.
And then my second issue is the jail costs. I just wanted to go back. I know we just voted on it, but the actual budget in our book says it was budgeted at $646,078, but in the report it said $625. So that's a difference of $78,500 just for the 2 years, and I'm sure finance will look into that difference. But the jail costs from last year to this year was the inspected increase was $152,030. And so what I'm getting at is I wasn't sure if the number on the report was right or the number in our book was right, the 625,000 or the 646. And then in 2026, it's another $20,000 above the $646. But the reason I bring it up, the contract said it is an agreement from January 1st to 2025. And I know Hillary's on the phone. Are we signing a 2-year contract that's starting in May of 2025? So it's only a year and a half, or can we adjust that? I know even in section 10.6, it says in December 31st, it will increase costs, but this contract, if we sign it in May, is not a 2-year contract, and it didn't start in January 1st of 2025.
Just to be clear, you're talking about jail, like housing people in jail?
Yes.
Okay.
But per the contract that we were provided, the agreement, it says the contract is from the first day of January 2025, but it won't even be signed until May of 2025. So I'm wondering, can we adjust that with the city of Lynnwood, even though they signed it in 2024, this contract?
So the contract covers that period, but if we don't have anybody housed in the facility, we don't pay.
But we didn't even look at this contract till now.
I can take a look at that.
I mean, it's the contract, we can't retroactivate it because if we, like you said, we didn't house anybody there, but the contract that you're signing says January 1st of 2025.
I don't think the city of Lynnwood would have any issue with us adjusting the dates, but I can reach out to them.
Okay, and then you'll get back to me on the budget costs?
Yes, the difference.
Anyone else? Does anyone have anything to bring up? Okay. It is a little after 8 o'clock and we are adjourned.